Now then, adding the enemy sprite. So what I want to do here is we've added a unicorn in the platform. I now want to add our enemy sprite, which you downloaded right at the beginning of this. Once we've added it, we want to make it move, which I think we'll do as a separate video. So, very simple. Go back into our Scratch. I've added a couple of new platforms up here for a bit of fun. And I'm now going to go down here, upload sprite from file, find where I saved it, place it in. It's rather large. I'm going to shrink it down using the shrink thing. For this game, about the same size as you can make it a bit bigger, but about the same size as the unicorn works quite well. And I'm going to hover it. That's really quick and easy. The next thing I want to do though is, as I said, I wanted to make it go from there to there and then back again. So I want the starting position, so I'm going to add a starting position. Now, I'm in data on the sprite, so I've clicked on the sprite in the data, and you notice there's score and gravity, that's great, but hang on, if we go back to sprite 1, there was an X and Y, and they vanish when you go into sprite 2, or they should. Well, why that's happened is the X and Y, we wanted that just to be the coordinate, the X coordinate and the Y coordinate of the unicorn, and nothing else. Well, we don't want the sprite to follow those two coordinates. It wouldn't be much of a game if you permanently had the ghost hopping on top of you. So, in here I need to make another X and Y, and I need to make it local for this sprite here, this enemy sprite. That way, it's the coordinate of the ghost, not the coordinate of the unicorn. So I need to add two new variables and make sure they're local variables. So make a variable X again. We're keeping the same name, but for this sprite only. Click OK. And make a variable Y for this sprite only. Okay, there they are. I can untick them, in fact. We don't see them. Now, back into the scripts as we need to set these up for that position. There's a quick cheat you can use in Scratch which is really handy. Is if I place my ghosty where I want it to begin, click on motion. I'm actually just going to take that go to XY and pull it out. What's happening there is that's a neat little way of finding out the coordinates of that ghost, which is 13 and 93. If I move it to the other end of the platform, and I can take another go to XY, you can now see that I've actually got the coordinates of the other end. I now know roughly the 2 points I wish this ghost to flow between, and we'll come to those later. So I've done that now. We're not going to use those in programming, it's just a neat way of recording where we want the two positions to be. Okay. I now need to set up its original position. So I'm going to use the same event to start the game, which is green flag, when event clicked, and I'm going to use a forever loop, because we're going to have forever loop, and inside the forever loop, exactly the same as the unicorn, we're going to have that go to X and Y. So, back to my sprite, oops, go to motion, there's my go to, only this time there's the X and there's the Y. Drop that in. That, if we run it as it stands, will drop our ghost into the middle of the screen because we haven't set up the values for X and Y. So here's our setting up phase before we get to the forever loop. There's our X, there's our Y. Now I can look down here and I can see that at the beginning, at the setup, I want 13 and 93. So in here I type, for my X I can type 13, and for my Y now I can type 93. Now, I'd expect you to do this. This is your design of a platform. You don't have to copy my design at all. You can make it however you like. So you'd have your setup would be different numbers to my numbers. I'd expect that. I would be a bit mortified if you had exactly the same as me. So that's why I said that's a neat trick to find out. Now we know the setup position. We can either keep that or we can bin it. It's up to you. It's not going to be used in the code. Right. Okay, the last thing to do is just to test that by hitting the green flag Here we go. Let's hit the green flag. And straight away, in my testing, I've noticed a problem. I mean, my unicorn has landed on top of my ghost. I don't want that. I could either move my ghost, or I could move the startup position of my unicorn. I'm going to move the startup of my unicorn. So I want it to fall to about there. Oops, I need to stop. If I look at my motion there, I can see that that X position is minus 54. It's a very neat way of doing it. So on my sprite on the startup, when I have its setup phase, I can change its X to minus 54. And now I can test it. And in comes our unicorn. And we'll land on the platform, just avoiding this nasty ghost. Okay, so I would like you to set up some more platforms. Have one where you want the sprite. You can follow this video again, you can always rewind it and find out how to do this. You can then use the go-to commands to pick a couple of positions, and a startup position and an ending position. When you've done that, you can then very simply have your setup phase and pop in a forever loop with go to XY. Test it and make some decisions. You may want to change the setup position if you're a unicorn then, as you start to get an idea of where your platforms are going to be. Once you've done all that and you're happy, save it. Okay, away you go.